What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scotty, welcome back, buddy. It's Hump Day.
Yeah, the first half of the week's gone already. Lost the turns of time playing a lot of games as usual.
Awesome, dude. I'm anxious to talk about my game this week coming up on the show, so everybody stay tuned to that for Inside the Game. But right now, you're watching us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Dude, coming up on today's show, you ready for this one? Halo Infinite release date is leaked.
No.
When will we play Halo Infinite? Well, we'll talk about that. We also going to recap Xbox Gamecast showcase yesterday, and a sealed copy of Legends of Zelda sells big. Dude, the Legend of Zelda sold for a ton of money. We're going to get in that conversation very, very shortly. Quick PSA, though, don't forget, over on September 17th to the 18th, we'll be streaming live for 24 hours for Big Brothers, Big Sisters to help raise awareness, and, of course, some of the good old donations for the kids, help them out and support a great cause. We're going to have special guests, all kinds of guests. I'm just lining some up right now, buddy.
I'm excited to find out more about that.
Yeah.
I, of course, skipped the last one due to no fault of my own, really, and I will gladly be there this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, let's get into recapping the Xbox Gamescom showcase from yesterday. You ready? Here we go, because ahead of the November 9th release was Forza Horizon 5. Playground Games shared the first 8 minutes of There's a Forza Horizon 5 gameplay showcasing the cover cars, the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, and announced the Forza Horizon 5 limited edition Xbox wireless controller. Dude, overall, I thought that was, well, they ended off with Forza Horizon 5, and it just got me more and more pumped for it. Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, it looked great. I know that's the selling feature for a lot of Forza, but it did actually look really good, and I like the way they kind of set up the presentation. If that's the first several minutes of the game, I think that's going to lead into a pretty action-heavy racer. And the speeds they're hitting on some of those cars and some of those hills.
Yeah.
It was funny. I called it. When they're driving around this mountain pass, I said, okay, well, I want to see them go off the edge just once. I want to see what kind of a world is out there.
Yep.
And they launched completely off the edge.
Oh, dude, it was so good, though. Like, they went flying, and just, it looks massive. It looks gorgeous. Like, the Forza Horizon, or just Forza in general, have always looked incredible. And now we're on the next-gen consoles. It's going to be almost, like, seamless, dude. It is going to be so cool. And you know what I always liked? This is just a little tidbit of me. Every time you jump into a Forza Horizon game, it always came up, "Hi, Drew." I was like, "Hey, what's up? Let's go racing." It always got my name, and no other game ever seems to get my name. And it's just a little touch like that, and then you get into the racing. I'm not a big sim racer, so to get into the Horizon series is where I jump in, because it's a lot more arcadey. But for me, dude, the game is just fun. You're there for that festival once again. I'd like to see them really dive a little bit deeper into a story component, a heavy focus on a story, but we'll see. Like, it looked like when they're driving around in the Bronco, dude, that thing looked like there was no driver even in it when I first, like, launched out of the plane. I was just,
oh, yeah.
I was
There's
like,
something missing. Is that because we're supposed to put ourselves there?
Yeah, right. But from there, we also got some a new tidbit of hands-on history from Age of Empires. Dude, the new one is just around the corner. What did you think of the new Trebuchet little tidbit, this little hands of history kind of segments they're putting in? They're going to be around 3 minutes, they say, and they just want to bring the experience. They're stepping it up a little bit more.
Yeah, just to tie in more of the history it's based off of into the actual story.
Yep.
And I think that's a really good idea, because they kind of follow a lot of the models of history. All the different factions are stylized and have the right units to be, the proper ones you're looking for.
Sure.
Japan has samurai, that kind of thing. And I think this is actually a really good opportunity for people just to get a little sliver of info. And if they're interested in it, that could lead to people doing their own research and kind of figuring out, how did these two, countries war with each other? Where did the trebuchet come from? And then just the actual video they showed of the trebuchet gives you an idea of the immense power that was. Like,
Absolutely.
You can see how it absolutely changed the battlefield, and you don't want to be on the other end of one. So I thought it was cool for them just to kind of show the real inspiration.
Dude, you've been playing Age of Empires 3 lately. Are you getting ready for Age of Empires 4? Because I am pretty excited. Dude, I was a huge Age of Empires back in the day. So as a big fan, I want to now get into the newest one and see how that goes, because I think we're in for a blast, and you and I are going to be hooking up playing that one for review.
Yes.
I'm calling it.
After following the third one, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My brother was trying to get me into it for a very long time, but his was Age 2 that he played. So this was somewhat of an upgrade to him, but it seemed like it was good all around, resounding improvement. And I expect the fourth one to, again, just have another leap in improvement. It's coming out many years now, or several years at least from 3.
Well, we had a remastered edition that Nate and I reviewed not too long ago as well. We had a blast playing that, but dude, I'm definitely looking forward to the next iteration. But from here, dude, they talked about what is pretty exciting for me. They're going to bring cloud gaming to the Xbox Series X, S, and the Xbox One this holiday season, enabling Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to play 100+ games right from the cloud and discover new games with a click of a button. Dude, it was seamless when they did it. It was just a couple short little jumps, and then they were in playing the game. Didn't even have to download the game. It was just a matter of click the button, and they were playing it live. Like, oh man.
It's funny enough that it was suspiciously fast. I don't know if my Xbox Series X loads games that quickly to begin with.
Sure.
There is a really good point made where this will enable people with an Xbox One still to play X and S exclusive titles through this system. And I think that's a big deal, because there's a few reasons that you'd want to upgrade, and one of them is going to be exclusives eventually. So it's going to bridge the gap for those people.
Absolutely. Again, though, this is the push for the Game Pass, right? They want you to become the ultimate member, especially now as you have an Xbox One and you want to jump in and try and get a high fidelity, high gameplay mechanic when it comes to Halo Infinite. Then, dude, maybe playing that on the cloud is probably the better way to go than trying to get it to work on your actual downloaded component for the Xbox One and have it maybe chug or not be as nice and all that stuff, right? Because all the high-end features are coming to the cloud, and if you can let Microsoft house all that back power with all their servers and stuff and take the load off your console, maybe that's the way to go in this case.
Yeah, they showed a lot of hardware very quickly in the video, all these server banks and all of these consoles kind of lined up, but it's worth noting when you're on an Xbox One and you play something Series X and S, it seems that it is loading on an XS somewhere, and that's just being fed to you through the internet. So you're not really missing any horsepower that way.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me, dude, is now we're big fans, but what happens to Stadia? Right? Like, this is kind of, where does this place them now over at Google when they see Microsoft really starting to hone in on the cloud gaming side of things for their platform? They already have all the hardware and stuff, like all the main games, all the components, all first party titles, all Bethesda titles coming to Game Pass. Dude, if you can get half of those games over into the cloud service now as well, like, how do you compete with that when you're over in the world of Stadia, pulling in everything now at this point is third party, right? Like, nothing there is first party. Unfortunately, they decided to get rid of that whole section of their studio, which still baffles my mind to this day. But how do you now compete when you're trying to battle up against somebody like the size of Microsoft?
Yeah, Microsoft, it's kind of like the big kid on the block has climbed into the pool now, and they're just intruding on each other's markets, or more so that Xbox is stepping into Stadia's space. But is there enough room in this town for the two of them?
I don't know.
Kind of
according to
yet to be seen.
Exactly. According to Agent Hal, he says bye Stadia. So I'm kind of, honestly, like, I love Stadia's platform. It is super simple, right there on my phone, a couple clicks, and boom, I'm in there playing whatever I want, even Rainbow Six Siege at the moment if I wanted to, right? the
Yeah.
options to take this on the go. But now when you're competing with Microsoft, with that has such a vast library already, you can play your games on the console. And if you don't have it, my biggest problem right now with Xbox is the fact that my hard drive is all used up for space.
Yes.
So if I can delete some of these games, dude, and just play it in the cloud, like what a hands-free experience, what a time saver, what a load off my console that I won't have to worry about anymore. Do I have to download the next game that's 100 gigs or 150 gigs? I don't have to worry about it. I just play it from the cloud and let Xbox and Microsoft take all that hardware space for me.
That's a huge benefit, because we talk about this often, actually. The way that that I don't even know if my Xbox is 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, or 500 megabytes. I really don't even know, because it gets full so quickly. I'm looking at the latest Call of Duty and Red Dead, and they're just kind of next on the chopping block, because I'm gonna have to make space for something, and that's a hard trade-off to make.
No, absolutely.
Especially when we play the volume of games that we do.
Well,
there's always something that needs to get space.
Coming from the Xbox One and both of those had, I believe I have a 4 terabyte external connected to that, right? So I had all kinds of space already ready to go. So I wasn't all that concerned. And then you jump into next gen consoles, you have 500 gigs, dude. Like it's poof. And then your space, your hard drive space is just gone. So now you can let the cloud take care of that. Like, why not? Just as long
in
as
the meantime, all these
connection.
games have gotten way bigger, especially graphically.
Huge.
So on the new consoles, Hitman was the latest one, Hitman 3 that I installed, and that was, I think it was just shy of 100 gigs.
Yeah, dude. Well, just wait until you get into Microsoft Flight Simulator with their World Update number 6, available on September 7th, which celebrates the region of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. The new Junkers GU-52 aircraft, the Volo City Air Taxi, which will be releasing in November in a partnership with RARA, the Renault Air Racing Association. Dude, they showcased a lot of stuff when it comes to Microsoft Flight. This is an experience like no other, and they're really pushing it hard this year too. With the release of it, they're coming up on now September 7th for the next update on that, and it's going to be incredible. So there's a lot going on there as well, dude. There's still a lot to talk about.
That was very interesting. The Volo City Air Taxi, kind of based on an idea, it seems, from the 80s looking forward. Will we have flying cars? It's kind of what was answered in that video. And
exactly.
It looks like a lot of fun to check out. And I can't get over the way they've seemingly scanned these cities to add them to the map. And the map is just about world round, I believe. So like, I can't. That game may require more gigabytes than my Xbox has.
Man, so to play that on the cloud, Scott, would be such an advantage, right? Because you wouldn't have to worry about downloading. The biggest thing is that you download, then you delete it because you need more space. If everything's just right there, it's just a click and away you go. Okay, let's move on to a couple other things, dude. We're going to highlight here real quick. Double Fine came out and talked about Psychonauts 2. You can check out our review over on InsideTheGame.ca for more on that. Steve and I reviewed that. Steve absolutely loved it. Not that I didn't. I just check out the review and you'll understand why.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm excited for that one for a long time now.
Yeah.
And it is finally available, so it's
cool.
News.
It's really, really cool. Sea of Thieves, dude. You called this. We were sitting there watching it, and you went, "Is that Borderlands?" And sure enough, Sea of Thieves has an event going on right now. It is geared with Gearbox, of all things, to get a Borderlands themed ship. So
yeah, I recognize the flag. That was the immediate thing. There's the symbol of the kind of triangular shape, and I thought there's only one place where I've seen that before. But they didn't go on to explain too much about the ship other than cosmetically. It's set in a Borderlands kind of style. I think there's some of the characters you can look like, but not. It's kind of missing that Borderlands wacky weapon generation.
Sure.
But that's for another time. That would change the game too much.
That'd be a huge change to the game. They also talked about a new update coming to State of Decay 2, which was just a weird addition coming. Is Homecoming update, which is cool. Dude, I got to get back into that game. Honestly, I really need to jump back in. It's
I think it reintroduces part of the area from the first game. I'm not an expert on this series, but.
So it ties up everything that they've come out with and the Heartlands DLC. It continues on after Heartlands, after the events of that, and wraps it all up. Man, it's just I'm surprised. That one's coming September 1st, so definitely take a look for that one. We saw a little bit of Wasteland 3, the new DLC coming out for that. The Cult of the Holy Detonation, which is just another wacky addition over for Wasteland 3. That game is awesome. That's coming out very, very soon as well. You can get the DLC for $6.99, so take a look for that one.
That's pretty digestible, I think.
Absolutely, I think so. They also started things off with Dying Light 2, Scott. A little sneak peek into that one.
That was an exciting one for me. Just hearing the devs talk about what kind of additions they made this game versus last. I think that they said double the parkour maneuvers, which is a huge selling part of that game. So that's good news. As closer we get to release of that, I'm getting way more excited about it. It's Dead Island continued. Dead Island, I think, is a dead IP now.
But it sure seems that way.
As close as you can get to that.
Yep. Then they also talked about the Crusader Kings 3, which is coming to Xbox X and S later this year. From there, we got into the Humble Bundle as well, which just was like a sporadic little blast of games to quickly try and keep note of, which was rather fast. But a lot of them looked pretty cool. What else did we have in there too? We talked about they showcased some Stray Blade, which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought that game looked pretty wild, man.
Yeah, there was quite a few that came up that caught my eye.
No, definitely. Gunk was there too. The Gunk looked awesome. But dude, I want to talk about one of the biggest things that happened just today. A Halo Infinite release date has been leaked. This was over on a Microsoft listing. Halo Infinite will launch on December 8th, 2021. According to a new listing uncovered via the Microsoft Store. The listing provides a long-anticipated clarity on release plans for the upcoming sci-fi shooter previously confirmed for holiday 2021. The report comes via someone on Twitter. I'm going to call Lumina on Twitter, a reputable and proven source for leaks via the Microsoft Store. The timing is unusual, less than 24 hours after the Microsoft hosted the Gamescom 2021 conference, but implies a potential showing at Jeff Keighley's Gamescom opening night live show tonight. Scott.
Well, this is interesting to see where it came from via the Microsoft Store. Do you think we trust this one? Because this is, for once, it's not Walmart Germany that's leaked the release date,
or Walmart Canada. We're pretty good at that over here, apparently, as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that
one. Yeah, you know what? They say it's reputable, so take it for a grain of salt. Take it for what it's worth. It is just a leaked rumor right now, but December 8th seems to be the way. I also caught an article this morning on Twitter that apparently the campaign has been in a rough condition as far as work-wise. A lot of stress going on over there trying to get this game ready and coming out. And I think that's why, Scott, they've been holding off for so long as to giving us that official date, right? Like, we're only a couple months out now, man, and to have no date at all. The last place, Scott, would be tonight at the Jeff Keighley opening night live showcase, right? That right there would be that, which I think in our time zone do is like 2 p.m. So it's not really late for us, but over there in Germany, right? That's where it's going to be, I think, featured. If we do see anything at all, I was kind of hoping maybe it would be yesterday. Like, you end off yesterday's showcase with this piece of news, dude, it would have blown up. Everybody would have been on it. We would have been talking about it until the cows come home, kind of thing, because there's so much. People have been waiting for this for so long, and still nothing.
It's got to be the biggest property that's questioning, when the release date is. That's what everybody was waiting for. Yeah. And I think it would have been a great end cap to the show. But I think what you said, they're under strain. All we got was holiday 2021, kind of nails it down within that month. But
sure,
I was wondering, what holiday are they going to go for? Is there one that takes place in February that I don't know about?
Well, Family Day. My biggest thing for me is, if they keep pushing it back and the game is under strain and the stress that it's already amounted to, are they truly going to make that deadline of December 8th, or are they going to push the game once again? They don't want to, right? We just covered it just yesterday that they talked about the fact that they had to take out the co-op component of it. They took out Forge mode out of the game for now, right? To give us 3 months later, we'll get co-op. 6 months later, we'll get Forge mode. And Agent Howell says, how about Valentine's Day? We'll get it on Valentine's Day. So there is that opportunity of maybe it's just not ready to go, right? This was supposed to be an Xbox Series X and S launch title, and it's just been a labor of love that's been a lot of work, right? Video games are obviously not easy to make, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of time to create something that's really, really well received. So take your time. If you have to push it again, dude, I'm okay for waiting. Honestly, at this point, I've waited this long. If you're going to take another 3 months to get it ready after what you was initially as a release date of December 8th, I'm probably okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does feed into my worries about this launching as a live service.
Yeah.
That just has a bad reputation already, and I'm worried that it will sully the Halo brand if it does release in an unfinished state.
Absolutely.
I can't even imagine playing the newest Halo on early access.
No, man. No, you know what? I never even thought of that, right? It could be, though. That could be the case because now, because of online components and services like this, everything just keeps, well, here's a new patch. Here's a new update. Here's the next update. Yeah. Here's the next update, right? You get into, we just talked about Microsoft Flight Sim. Update number 6 is coming on September 7th. That's great because that keeps that community alive. But they also launched a polished and finished game at initial launch date, right? Where here for Halo, we're getting the single player campaign and the multiplayer, the free to play multiplayer. So what happens then if everybody finishes the campaign and goes, man, really? That was the campaign? Ugh.
Oh, I'm afraid of that too.
Oh, ouch, right? So, dude, honestly, if you need to wait and push it back, delay it, give me the co-op then. That's the biggest thing. Give me that co-op experience because I think that would be the pinnacle of what everybody's been looking for right now between that and the multiplayer, to have a finished game and a polished game and let us play that.
It adds that replayability too with the co-op campaign. A lot of people might see that and just kind of think, well, who cares? But it's a huge driving force. Anybody in my generation grew up and the older brother came home with Halo 2 and we just sat down and played the whole night, and that's kind of something that happens a lot with me in Halo. Is I'll play it with you, and then I'll play it with Nate, and then I'll play it with my friend George, and then that might get me through the waiting period before the full release kind of takes place.
No, that's fair.
That is the case.
Absolutely. But Scott, let's move on to a sealed Legend of Zelda sells for, you ready for this? $411,000.
Holy!
And went to an auction at Goodwill. Goodwill now use the money for skills training and job placement programs for those with disabilities and or barriers to employment. Dude, that's awesome to see.
That sounds like a good cause. Yeah. I'm just struggling with that number because I don't know if yet I've made that amount of money in my life.
Right, $411,000.
You know what? I've definitely not made that much money.
It's close. I'm sure we're close, but dude, what games are coming out for today?
Oh, let's take a look. It's it's kind of a sad list today, but there is one big standout.
Yes, there is.
But firstly, we have Marvel Future Revolution, and that's coming to the iOS and the Android. Now, you're into the Marvel games, actually. Is this something that you're curious about?
I downloaded it, so I am curious. It is an MMO situation that's going to be over on my iOS, so on my iPad right now is there waiting, and I just haven't been able to jump into it quite yet. I got a couple other actual mobile games I got to review first. So, but it's one of those things. Yeah, dude, Marvel, Spider-Man's in it. Like, I got some big heavy hitters that are supposed to be here.
That's the big one.
And it looks awesome. Like, it really looks like a legitimate MMO. It's just, MMOs are a time sink, man. So I'm a little nervous, right? That's the problem.
And I wonder if you jump online and everybody's Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
We also have releasing today Psychonauts 2, and that's on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Which everybody needs to go check out, right? It's now on Game Pass as well, so head over there. If you're curious about it, though, head to insidethegame.ca. You can see our review over there. But Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show, my friend, because this has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/ITG the official ITG, as well as YouTube, or you can catch us later InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see everybody tomorrow inside the game.